Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. Today we're going to be looking at a fabulous conjunction, Moon with Pluto. One of the best conjunctions you can have in the chart, and we're going to explore it. Now before we do, you're probably wondering, how do I find out if I've got Pluto Moon conjunction? Well, this is my very ancient printout from astro.com, www.astro.com, and it is a map of the sky. At the moment you were born, you'd go to astro.com, you type in your details, your birth details, and you'll come up with something that looks like this. What you need to do is just look down the side here for the symbol that represents the moon, and then look for the symbol that represents Jupiter. And then once you've worked out what those symbols are, look for them in the chart. And if they are together, if they are within 10 of these little strokes here, what we call degrees, there's lots of little strokes in the map. I'm not sure if you can see it there or not, but you look for the glyph, the symbol of the moon and the symbol of Jupiter being together in the chart, in the same sign, or within 10 of those little strokes of one another. They're called degrees. So that's what we look for to see if we have a conjunction. You can have an out of sign conjunction. That means that Jupiter might be, say, in Cancer, the moon might be in Gemini, and they might be still within 10 degrees of one another. Therefore, that's an out of sign conjunction. In the Vedic astrology system, it's considered a conjunction when the moon and Jupiter, in this case we're talking about, are together in the same sign. So if you had Jupiter and the moon both in Cancer, you could have Jupiter at 1 degree of Cancer and the moon at 29 degrees of Cancer. In Vedic astrology, it would still be considered to be a conjunction. Both the planets are in the same room, in the same sign. But to really work most strongly with this connection, we would look for Jupiter and the moon to be within 10 degrees. You'll feel it more strongly. It will display in your life more strongly if Jupiter and the moon are within 10 degrees. Now, what does it mean to have Jupiter with the moon? Well, firstly, we need to know about what the moon represents and what Jupiter represents. So those who've been following this series online with me will know by now exactly what the moon's all about. So bear with me as we go through it for those who haven't been following along with this series. But the moon represents our emotional well-being, our emotional health. If the moon's in good dignity, our emotional intelligence and our emotional health will be positive. If the moon is struggling and has lots of yucky aspects and heaviness to it, then our emotional health can really struggle. Our emotional well-being might be really lackluster and low. The moon is also our self-image, how we see ourselves, how we love ourselves. The moon also represents what satisfies us in life, what makes us feel safe, what makes us feel secure, what makes us feel happy. So, for example, if you've got the moon in Libra, you might get a sense of satisfaction and happiness and joy in life through your relationship connections with others. Libra is all about that. So you need to look at the sign and house placement for the moon to see what will, and also the conjunctions as well, we'll get into that in a minute, to see what will make you happiest and most satisfied in life. The moon represents karma too. It represents our past life experiences, what we've been through in past lives that's now actually playing out and affecting us in this life. The moon is what a man is looking for in a man's chart. The moon represents what he's looking for in a wife. Not so much a girlfriend, but in someone who he'd be willing to settle down with. So a man can, be dating somebody who's really subdued and sort of the librarian archetype kind of woman. He might go on, they might always be his girlfriends, the serious, studious kind of woman. That might be what he goes for in girlfriends all the time. And then he'll go and marry somebody who might be, the wild party animal who's up on the table with a lampshade on her head. That kind of a girl, simply because girlfriends tend to be represented by, or who we fall in love with rather, is represented by Venus, the type of people we date and are attracted to at a sort of a love connection, but the person that we will tend to marry will be more of that moon characteristic. So the moon represents what a man will look for in a wife, actually. Venus too, like they do combine both into what a man looks for in a wife, but the moon, it tends to be more of that committed energy rather than Venus, the pleasurable, fun energy. So that's another aspect of the moon. The moon can also represent our relationship with our mother. The moon is the mother energy. This can often be why men will tend to marry someone who's a lot like their mother, even if they date someone who's completely different to their mum. This is because the moon represents our mother and mother energy in the chart. Plus, it's also, if we're a woman, represents how we will tend to mother our own children, with what characteristics and what traits we will mother our children. It's also how we will nurture others is seen by the moon and its placement as well. The moon is nurturance, the moon is care. In a woman's chart, the moon is actually very strong. It's stronger in a woman's chart than a man's chart because it represents our femininity and how we express our feminine energy. So if the moon is strong and well dignified, we'll be doing great things with our feminine energy. If the moon is maligned, not well dignified, or struggling in the chart and weak, then our feminine energy can be a bit usurped. So that's the moon in a nutshell for men and women. What about Jupiter? What is Jupiter? Jupiter in the chart, he's everybody's favorite, isn't he? He's faith, his hope, his optimism, his abundance, his joy, his prosperity, his everything good and delightful, everything that we want out of our lives. He is the great benefic in Vedic astrology. He is positive, he is lucky, he is upbeat and optimistic, he's charismatic, he brings charisma to our soul, to ourselves. He's adaptable, he's flowing, and he rules Pisces, that beautiful flowing energy. He rules Sagittarius, which is that fun, expansive energy of Sagittarius. And the moon also rules flow as well. The moon rules the tide, so to ebb and to flow is very much the moon. So they're quite similar in that regard, the moon and Jupiter. In Vedic astrology, Hindu astrology, the planet Jupiter represents the husband. So we look for the qualities and the nature of our husband by the placement of our Jupiter in a chart. Jupiter is also correlated with foreign cultures, other beliefs, other practices from foreign places. Jupiter is higher knowledge and wisdom. Jupiter is the archetype of the guru and the teaching energy, to instruct, to guide others. He's known as the guiding star, which is hence why my astrology channel is called Guiding Star Astrology. It's named after the position of Jupiter in my chart. So that is Jupiter as he's known archetypally and the energies that Jupiter represents. So what are the good things that you get if you happen to have Jupiter and the moon conjunct in the chart? You lucky blessed thing. You'll be very emotionally adaptable and flexible and flowing with life because of the flow of both the moon and Jupiter as planets. So that's really good. You'll be able to adjust to things easily, cruisily, no big deal, no worries. Yeah, I'll go with that. You just go where life takes you with ease. It's an indicator of karmic merit from past lives. Whereas we talked about Saturn last week, Saturn being the heavy, karma stuff that we've got to pay back for mistakes we've made. Now Jupiter conjunct with moon is actually the karmic blessing that we get for having done good things in past lives, for having made wise choices and been the good person. So there's a lot of karmic merit with Jupiter when it's with the moon. You've done good in the past and you're now being rewarded for it in this lifetime. Hey, bonus. So everybody would love that. It also is indicative of having had a good childhood, a good family life, a good upbringing. The moon does correlate to those things. So, you started out with that positive merit from your karma has helped you start out in a good place, generally speaking, or you've learnt good lessons You know, even if you've had more challenges in your childhood because of other factors in your chart, you will have the capacity with Jupiter conjunct Moon to learn valuable lessons that support your life's journey in this incarnation. Jupiter conjunct Moon. Your life can be very positively fated, Jupiter conjunct Moon, very blessed. You'll kind of know that the universe has your back, that good things can come to you. There's a natural knowing as well of how to enjoy yourself. Jupiter is joy. Jupiter is happiness. And of course, the moon is what we feel we need to be satisfied. Combine these two and you just win a winner chicken dinner. There's this natural knowing of how to have fun, how to enjoy yourself, how to be positive, how to be upbeat, and have a good perspective on your life that naturally ends up drawing these things to you. More positivity enters into your life when you keep that positive, upbeat attitude yourself. More joy comes into your life when you've got a joyful, positive, upbeat attitude. So you naturally draw these things to you. It's like you mirror it out and it comes back to you. Or you send it out, sorry, and it's mirrored back to you. You are going to need, with Jupiter conjunct Moon, big life experiences that will expand your emotional intelligence. The moon is our emotions. When it's with Jupiter, it's our emotional intelligence expands, and you're going to need big, expansive life experiences to grow that more and more and more. And these things will just seem to manifest for you. So you might get lots of opportunities to travel. Maybe you'll be born into a family that does lots of overseas trips. And so through that, you learn about other cultures, other ways of life, and your worldview is expanded and multiplied. And therefore, your emotional intelligence about human beings and life and culture is bigger than anybody who's stuck at home in the small town environment and never leaves, you know? So Jupiter can give you these big life experiences that help grow your emotional wisdom and emotional intelligence. It's a really blessed and lucky placement, as I've already said. It is to be in the right place at the right time. Jupiter tends to give that to you when he's with the moon, also with the ascendant, also with the sun. Jupiter can help you be in the right place at the right time, and luck and benefit flows your way. But with the moon, as we're talking about today, you have the capacity to almost be like a cat with 9 lives. You land on your feet. It gives you lots of charisma as well to have the moon with Jupiter. And this charisma is going to enable you to be quite a popular person. You'll be well liked because of Jupiter moon conjunction. You'll have lots of friends, and it can even lead to fame. It can give you notoriety and fame when you have Jupiter conjunct with the moon. So lucky you guys if that's what you want. It is an energy that will make you very accepting of other people. Like I've described, you might have more opportunities to expose yourself to other lifestyles and other beliefs and other cultures that makes you more accepting of others. And so you can have friends from all walks of life and all other cultural and belief systems. Lots of friends, and very popular with people in those realms. In Hindu astrology, Jupiter represents, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video, Jupiter represents the husband in a woman's chart. So we need to look where Jupiter is to tell us about the husband. Well, when Jupiter is with the moon, it means that your husband, your spouse, is going to be more kind, more caring, more nurturing. He's going to have these qualities of the moon as a part of who he is. So this can be really a blessing in a woman's chart to have this combo. It can also mean that your husband, if you're a woman, will be from another culture, from overseas, a foreigner, moon with Jupiter. He might have a different belief or a different cultural background to yours. And like I said, kind and compassionate, very emotionally responsive as well when he's with the moon. Often quite prosperous as your partners in life, your husbands, if you have more than one, it will tend to be more prosperous because of Jupiter conjunct with the moon. So lovely. Again, more blessing. You can be lucky in love when you've got this. It makes you a very open-minded person. Jupiter is to be accepting. Jupiter will help you see the big picture. He's not interested in details, Jupiter. Forget it. If you want to know all the nitty-gritty, all the fine detail, Look elsewhere. Don't look for your Jupiter. Jupiter will tell you the big picture, the overall scheme of things, what's really going on from a large sort of up high perspective. That's Jupiter. So you will have a big picture perspective on life, on emotion, on love. You'll come from a very expansive point of view, and it gives you, because of this, quite a brilliant emotional intelligence about life. You will also, because of this big picture perspective, you will see opportunities when they manifest in your life and come your way. You won't miss them. You'll see them because you'll have this big picture view. You'll be able to see opportunities and grab them when they come. It is also an indicator, Jupiter with moon, of prophetic ability. The ability to not so much see the future, but the moon is our intuition and Jupiter is our connection to the divine, and so there can be very strongly developed intuition that's coming from divine sources or from the higher realms or your higher self. So you can be very prophetic in that way through intuition and just having the right hunches all the time, just a knowingness that you will have with Jupiter conjunct the moon. Because of Jupiter being conjunct the moon, you can attract a lot more positivity into your life. You can also attract more finances. Jupiter is to have big wealth. And when it's with the moon, you can just manifest and attract more wealth, more knowledge. Jupiter is higher knowledge and wisdom. It is the archetype of the guru and the teacher after all. So you will attract more knowledge, more wisdom, and this will just vibe with you. You know, it's the vibe of the thing, as we say in Australia. It brings you a vibe of success, a vibe of good luck, a vibe of good fortune and prosperity. It's like you've got an angel on your shoulder whispering wisdom in your ear. Make this choice, go here, do that. And you're like, you've got this angel on your shoulder whispering wisdom. So you can trust your intuition, listen to it when you've got Jupiter moon conjunction. Now, your relationship with your mother is also seen by the conjunction of Jupiter and the moon, and because of Jupiter's expansive nature, your relationship with your mother is likely to be expansive as well. Your mother will bring blessing and prosperity into your life. Your relationship with her will be blessed, will be joyful, wonderful. Your mother with Jupiter moon conjunction was likely to have been quite wise, quite knowledgeable, maybe upbeat and optimistic in her parenting style. There would have been an abundance of nurturing and love in your childhood. This is a beautiful gift. Not everybody gets this. So be grateful, be thankful, and I'm sure you are if you've got Jupiter moon conjunction. Be grateful and thankful for this glorious gift of nurturance that is likely to be present in your childhood experience. And you're going to parent in a similar way because of this. You'll nurture others if you're a man or a woman. You'll nurture others in a similarly expansive, abundant way. So it's a beautiful blessing to carry in the chart. And if you're looking for a good partner as a woman, get out there and find someone with Jupiter conjunct moon. It's a real winner. Now, the challenges with this placement, and there are some challenges. It's not all, happy, happy, joy, joy. One of the things you need to watch for when you've got Jupiter moon conjunction is being too generous. Jupiter is to be generous, and we can give too much with this combo because the moon is to be nurturing, to be kind, and Jupiter is to be generous, so you can give it all away. Be too giving at the detriment of yourself. Watch out for that. A lot of the time it will depend what sign it's in as to how that is exactly playing out, but heads up, whatever sign it is, there is a possibility that being overly generous can be an issue. You can be too accepting of others for your own well-being. People can take advantage of your good nature, of your generous nature, because not everybody is pure like you guys are, Jupiter moon people. Not everyone is as pure of intent as you, and that can then lead to being too trusting, being too accepting of others, and not seeing when they have not got your best interest at heart, and they're taking advantage of this kindly, generous nature that you have. Also, Jupiter moon people can tend to spread themselves too thin. They've got this overly abundant attitude, like, I can do it, I'm enough, and I'll succeed. And then you end up like, feeling exhausted and burnt out because you've taken on too much. You've tried, you're a single mom raising your kids, and you've got a 3 part-time jobs, and you're running coaching the netball team, and you're volunteering at the school canteen, and you've just done too much. It's because you're so optimistic about what you can achieve, and it begs the opportunity to step back and be realistic a bit. So don't spread yourself too thin. Quite simple lesson there for Jupiter Moon people. You can party too hard. You might not be serious enough to deal with the harshness of life, the heaviness of life, sometimes partying too much and not going to work because you've had a great time on the weekend. Not a good move, Sometimes we have to have a bit of a level head, but this is less likely to pop up. It's more for people who are manifesting this energy at a fairly low level, which is kind of unlikely to be anybody watching this video. The other thing that we need to watch out for with Jupiter conjunct Moon is not paying enough attention to detail. As I mentioned, Jupiter is very big picture, all about the expansive view. And so therefore details get overlooked, it doesn't matter, it'll be right, it's like not paying attention to the spelling of something and just looking for the overall impression of the document, and then everybody criticizes you because your spelling's up the putt. Watch out for that. Watch out for being too big picture and not detailed enough for, say, finite kind of work that requires particular attention. In fact, with Jupiter Moon conjunction or Jupiter strong anywhere in the chart, it's probably a good idea to avoid things that are too detail oriented, if possible. That could just be a pain in the ass for you. So the remedies, if we need them for Jupiter Moon conjunction. If you do have moments when you feel down, and we all get these times, even Jupiter Moon people with their optimistic, abundant attitude, they can still have times when they feel lowly, feel down, feel especially if there are other things in the chart that are really playing up and causing some havoc. Well, the solution during those times with Jupiter Moon people is to just dive deep into faith and spirituality. Meditate, pray, go for walks where you commune with your higher self. If you went for a swim, that would be really good. Moon is connected to the waters, and of course Jupiter rules Pisces, this ebb and flow of the ocean, and the tides ruled by the moon. So going for a walk by the beach, going for a swim in the waves, these kinds of things, and doing any type of spiritual connection work are going to be really helpful for restoring your soul in those heavy times. Jupiter is charity, Jupiter is compassion, just like Pisces is, which Jupiter rules. So be charitable, be kind, be generous to people who need love, and that will uplift you. That will help you by channeling that energy of Jupiter compassion and the moon's energy of kindness and care. When you're down, it's a great idea to teach something or to learn something new that you can really sink your teeth into, because Jupiter is the guru, the teacher, and is all about higher knowledge. This you will find satisfying. Remember, the moon represents what satisfies us, what makes us happy. Doing Jupiterian activities will make you happier, will make you more satisfied with life. So teach. If you don't want to connect with people, do a YouTube video on something that you're really keen about, really passionate about. If you want to, run a short course or host a study group or something where you can share your wisdom and knowledge. If that doesn't appeal, maybe you might like to learn something new. Buy a book on a new topic that interests you and really jump in, dive deep with some new area of learning and study. Doing these sorts of things is really cathartic and healing and satisfying for Jupiter Moon people when they're having a rough trot, which does come to everyone, as I said. So these are the remedies for Jupiter, but just know that you guys are some of the most blessed people to carry this lovely combo in your chart, where Jupiter Saturn, as we talked about last week, is one of the more difficult energies to wear. Saturn Moon is a more difficult energy to wear. The energy of Jupiter Moon is brilliant. It is beautiful. It is blessed. So you guys are lucky. You have so much to be thankful for, and indeed your karma is quite blessed. So bravo, you guys. Congratulations. Thanks for joining me for this video all about Jupiter with the moon. And I'll have another video in this series for you next week.